Welcome back to my channel. Today's date is April the 3rd, 2026, and I'm just gonna start off by verbally saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So basically, I'm just opening with, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. And I'm a real person. I'm the real deal. I'm about to show you my face. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, peace be upon you all. Or how someone was telling us to say in Nancy Coke, a winner too, for peace. Okay, so you saw my face. My name is Latonian. Okay, and I'm a female, so you saw me. And my second name is Jasmine. My last name is Dunson. If you did not see Jasmine, you would just see Latonian Dunson. So this video on my my channel today, I call it ProSe ED, and I have my name right there, full government, Latonian Jazmine Dunson, and my nickname, Tony, T-O-N-I. So you saw what I look like, and you see I'm matching, okay? So what is this about? Well, I had a complaint because I was being heavily bullied, and it stemmed from what happened with vital statistics department, vital statistics department, vital check. Now, they got all my information correct, okay? They never changed anything about my information, which is good on them. But what they did do was they changed my birth certificate color paper from pink to blue. Now, you might be like, well, what's the problem with that? There's a huge problem with that. Because I had some entity do terrible things to me by reinterpreting what happened from changing my paper from pink to blue to trying to change my whole identity. And I'm not having that. I don't do that. I'm referred to as Miss, Ma'am, Sister, Sis, Madam, all the appropriate names for a female, woman, girl. Anything outside of that, we got some problems because that's not who I am. And that's not how I represent myself. And that's not who I'm telling you I am. So, okay, you can see right here, this channel exposes the necessary educational videos on ProSe legal representation in the state of Delaware, my indigenous ancestral homeland, and where I reside as a natural citizen with the blood of my ancestors inked in my blood. Legal representation, court cases, documentation, and more information are discussed on this channel. Latonian Jazmine Dunson, or Latonian Dunson, my first and last name only, addresses the public with the truth about who she is and sever what would not be done in her name by individuals who violate her human woman rights, civil and constitutional rights. Anyone who deviates from the ordained, natural, God-given female birth sex, female gender expression, heritage, race, ethnicity, and more that Latonian possesses inherently and shares on this evidence-backed channel, they will have to explain themselves either in the court of law or in mediation sessions with her personally. All constitutional rights invoked, none waived. I don't waive any of my constitutional rights. Okay, so back to this. So you have to first make a complaint. What are you complaining about? That's my complaint. Because that was an easy fix they didn't want to fix. Okay? Why are you changing a female's birth certificate color from pink to blue? Okay? That could have been resolved when I went there. So I discussed the multiple times I went for mediation and I was brushed off, basically. So I go over that. And I just go a little bit about things that are verifiable facts. And I'm just going to put this down because some stuff is just not for the public eye. But here's what my main complaint about. So yes, however, Latonia brings to the court awareness of how ambiguous in nature it is to leave out the color choices pink over blue to determine sex by law, the same ambiguous nature that the Vital Statistics Department has ignored. What is not ambiguous is the long-withheld tradition of social categorization that the color choice pink has on a female birth certificate from the time of Latonian Dunson's live birth. And I just give, my birth date to present time. The color choices from pink or blue on a birth certificate is still a social requirement in order for the public to determine how to categorize and socialize with someone. And if someone says that's not true, they're lying, because I experienced it. It does matter. And that is the reason Latonian Dunson is suing Vital Statistics for the negligence to uphold the social and historical use of pink for girls that her mother was given. Okay, so when did this happen? I was issued the color change in 2017 because I originally didn't have a blue certificate. I know that. That's why I complained. Okay, that's my complaint. And then they did it again in 2025 without my permission in the form of an affidavit. An affidavit is, it's your sworn testimony, okay? And that's where you can make amendments and changes. So it's just for multiple things. But in this case, the affidavit, I did not give any affidavit expression that I wanted to change the color of my birth certificate. They don't have that because I never did it. So although by law pink is not a legal color and neither is blue, Latonian Dunson's experience proved that it is a traditional one on birth certificates, and that further supports Latonian Dunson's complaint to the court. Latonian maintains that since she has been given a blue certificate, it has caused damages to her social representation, misled the public, and people in her personal and private life upon discovery and exploitation of it. The color choice of blue to print Latonian's information on by the Vital Statistics Department is not in alignment with her biological gender identity of female, and she perceives it as deceptive in accordance with Title 16 Delaware Code subsection 3111 penalties. Latonian Dunson's medical records corroborate her claims as a biological female to be factual, since she was treated for cervical cancer, irregular periods, and abnormal uterine bleeding under her birth name, Latonian Jazmine Dunson. Latonian claims that she was targeted for humiliation once her 2017 and then 2025 reissued birth certificate was discovered. Latonian has been called out of her integrity by many. Latonian has been called a he, a bro, someone with a mental illness, trans, a man in a dress, and other derogatory terms and behavior towards her by her peers when she is indeed a real female. Events that led to Latonian Dunson being subjected to humiliation and damages to her social reputation was due to her exposure of her 2017 birth certificate and the color choice of blue paper upon which her accurate information was printed on. And to exasperate the matter further, the exploitation of her 2021 work report where she was called a bro, leading to her identity being misappropriated. Now, that's very true. Those things happen to me. Now, you also have to file what is called a precedent, okay? So you have to file that. You have to file a summons, and you have to file, your exhibit. You have to present your case like this, an exhibit. So basically I'm just outlining like what happened, and giving details about the evidence that I'm presenting, because you have to do that. And then if you're like me, it's like, well, I got people doing stuff to me that's illegal. I had a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. As soon as I say something or do something, people they start moving weird, they start acting funny, or they start changing their behaviors, or they're like, oh, she going to the court, let me act right. You should have acted right the first time. But okay, you can put in a court of common pleas with the State of Delaware, and this is in the form of paupers. If you're like me and you don't have the funds to follow through with the court proceedings. So they do this for us. It's called an informer pauperis. Okay, I learned about this from Mark McCormick a long time ago. So you can file an informer pauperis. All right, that's all I have to say. Thank you for visiting my channel today. I have more court cases, more complaints. I have a lot of complaints. Like I said, if you got a problem with me, you're creating one, because I don't bother you. So what was done to me was, oh my God, wrong on so many levels. And I got you. So, yes, no matter what situation you putting me through, because I mean, I'm legit, okay? So no matter what situation I was put through, inform my paupers, put it in. I'm still working out some of the kinks. And because, there's a lot of laws that you got to follow, a lot of processes you got to follow when you're following things with the court. And so it is what it is. But yeah, make sure you get that informal pauperis to proceed. So this affidavit is just supporting the fact that, I don't have the fundings to, to pay for submitting my complaints. So I can get this waiver, this affidavit here, and proceed. All right. So thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm going to show my face again. And one last thing, in Islam, when you're practicing it, okay? I'm emphasizing when you're practicing it. You can't misrepresent yourself. If you're a female, you know you're a female, you're a female. If you're a man and you know you're a man, you're a man. If you're a male, you know you're a male, you're a male. We don't do that in Islam. So if it is done, may Allah guide them to Islam. Okay? I have not changed who I was since the day I'm born. And I never told anybody to call me anything but my name, Latonian. Now here's a fact. That first name I have is a unisex name. I discovered it when I was a lot older, in my adult years. Grew up in Delaware my whole life. Never had any problems with anybody trying to change my gender expression or like, oh, she a man. Never had any of that until I worked as an adult. Like I said, post 2017. And then, it got worse from 2022 to now, 2026? And I've been heavily bullied. And people have been changing my stuff that didn't need to be changed. Because someone else was going behind me doing that. For decades, I never experienced that. I've always been experienced, like, for the female gender that I am. They see me like, oh, hi, ma'am, or this and that. So, like I said, from this whole proceedings that I had to deal with, that's why I've written that complaint. I'm like, why did y'all do that? So, okay, they're going to have to answer that in court since they don't want to, mediate with me face to face, But okay. All right. Take care. Thank you for visiting my channel, and I'll keep you posted. All right, bye.